A very good morning to you. Welcome to Business on News Desk. Three major oil marketing companies, GOIL, Total and Shell, have all dropped price of petroleum products at the pumps again. The move is in line with the removal of some taxes on petroleum products last week by government. George Rafe in the following report looks at the impact of this action on the industry and the cost of living as well.
This is the second time in just 4 days that these major oil firms have reviewed prices as picked up by Joy Business. The first one was last Thursday and Friday, which was in line with the normal price review every 2 weeks. And the second one, which happened yesterday and this morning, is as a result of the removal of excise duty and reduction of special tax rate on petroleum products from 17.5% to 15%. The review has resulted in a litre of petrol and diesel go down between 1 to 4%. The development will result in a gallon of diesel for many of these major oil firms being sold at around 18 cedis, 67 pesos. A gallon of petrol should be sold at around 18 cedis, 81 pesos. So if it takes about 10 gallons to fill your tank, then expect to pay about 188 Ghana cedis this morning. With these oil firms commanding more than half of industry share, the other 88 OMCs might be forced to also reduce prices in the coming days. But with crude prices expected to reduce in the coming weeks on the international market and the cedi expected to stabilize against the dollar, then prices at the pumps could go down again before the end of this month. This development will reduce the cost of operations for most businesses that had to up their fuel spending budget in line with the more than 11% jump in prices at the pumps since January. It could also prevent the expected hike in transport fares by GPRTU by the end of this month and also influence any review in utility tariffs in the coming weeks.
And government is promising to quickly start implementing programs outlined in this year's budget aimed at strengthening the cedi. The local currency since last week has been recording some marginal gains against the dollar and is currently trading at around 4 Ghana cedis 55 pesos compared with 4 cedis 80 pesos quoted by some banks earlier this month. Analysts are attributing it to a sudden drop in dollars demanded by businesses for imports and positive reaction to the 2017 budget policies by investors. Deputy Finance Minister Designate Kweku Kwarteng tells Joy Business it is critical these measures are implemented in a way that will consolidate recent gains by the local currency.
The interventions you see, some of which will be coming to Parliament shortly, the capping of earmarked funds and the improvement in revenue, the rationalization of expenditure. The objective is to get government to live within its means. And as we all know, when government lives within its means, the macro economy stabilizes and the city would benefit. We're working on it as quickly as we can. It would have been much easier if the situation wasn't as bad, but we have inherited a really bad situation. As anything that we could to, as quickly as we can, reverse the trend. It's hard to provide timelines because it also depends on what happens in the global economy, generally what happens elsewhere, where the dollar could be attracted. It depends on several factors. But what we are determined to do is to take charge of those factors we have control over to ensure that if the city will not be stabilized at all, it will not be something coming from the mismanagement of the economy. I'm confident that these strategies will yield results.
And that's all for business for now. Do join me again at midday for more updates in business. My name is Emmanuel Abwaji. We have there's more ahead on News Desk. Don't go away.